one tulip, right? Out of a million. Well, I think they all matter. So we're going to replant as many as we can save.
Start however you want and structure it however you want.
Yeah, okay. Well, I get asked a lot about what is it about tulips to get people jazzed? And I think it's a couple of things. One, tulips are the most recognizable flower in the world. And for me, the reason for it is because tulips individually are spectacular, and as a 500-acre block of color are spectacular. And so the whole idea of, as individuals, we can be extraordinary, and then as a group, we can be exceptional. The idea for us is that the nature of the relationship between people, our urban neighbors, and our rural communities is changing. And so our whole farm is built around the changing nature of agriculture and the connection that we as people have to that. So our purpose really is to connect people. We think that there's an opportunity to connect around agriculture, around natural beauty, around things that grow and people that grow with them.
You don't really realize what you have until it's gone, right? So you move away and go to college, and people find out that, we tell them I'm from Mount Vernon, I'm from Burlington, and, oh, I've been to the Tulip Festival, I love the Tulip Festival, and you kind of start, oh yeah, I guess it is pretty cool, and, life takes you away, and I ended up getting married and having kids in the Seattle area, and it became really important to me every year to bring my young children up to the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival. And we have pictures of them every single year. And like, I think a lot of people in this region, you kind of mark their growth by they're compared to the tulips. It's kind of like Santa pictures, but for spring. My name is Vanessa Harrington, and I help with the marketing and program development and anything that needs to be done on the basically not facilities side. I think like a lot of people here, to build things, right? To do something that's never been done before. That's what gives me energy. I love the why not? Like, why can't we do it? Why shouldn't we try it?
So cinematic.
We have lasers.
I am the king of lasers.
Probably the toughest man alive. My main role is to help them to organize the space that they have to work with. This whole area used to be a hazelnut farm. So we decided to use the entire 30 acres for an agritourism site to teach people about farming, teach people about how tulips grow. And so it's great to have a big piece of property, but you have to be able to organize the spaces and all the program elements that I call them program elements. The buildings, the circulation, parking, all those things need to be organized. And so that's my specialty as a landscape designer, site designer. And then the exciting thing about this project is I actually help with the implementation. So I've worked on a lot of projects in the past where I'm in the office, behind a drafting table, drawing the plans, helping the owner put the vision that they have in their minds on a piece of paper. And the great thing about this project is I get to do both. I get to help them take their vision and combine it with my ideas, put it on paper, and then we get to be out here building it, and I get to be a part of it. So it's kind of a dream. This over here, this tent, these planters are temporary because eventually they're going to be moved, and we're going to really build this site out with permanent structures and permanent site features. I think that's what's keeping everybody going, and is just, I don't know, there's just a lot of excitement associated with the new project and such a great idea, and I think everybody's really, energized. I'm really energized to be a part of something that's this unique and and it could be really impactful for the community and provide a lot of jobs for people, and just be something really great for, you know, tulip lovers.
This is the cooler, so that's how we can maintain the temperature so that we can make sure that we have color when we need it. See a little bit more the flowers that are coming up in here. Some red impression. We have about 40 different varieties that we grow this year, and then next week we've got a couple of our bulb brokers that are coming over, and so I think Holly's got a plan for almost 100 varieties next year. So
I was given the task of organizing the tulip bulbs into the field. It was kind of overwhelming, so I'm a crafter, so I went and printed out every flower by the color of cardstock it matched. So ballerinas are orange, and then I printed out, this has 100, 200, 300, so this is 1,000 bulbs. So then I stapled them together and measured out on Google Earth the fields and measured. And so then I could say, okay, we need this many bulbs at the end of the row so that when you plant, we get all of those. And so we needed 28 crates on 10 A and B for Escape, which is red. And then orange, pink, yellow, orange, white. And so I just went down there. So this is the top of the field, the north field, and then this is the west field. And then this is the island where we have the U-pick. And as we started planting, my plan wasn't followed with exactness, but that's okay. But I'll need to go out there and check and see what they've got. But this is also the west field. So I just went through and drew lines of the colors that they ended up doing.
Tulips are my paycheck. Oh boy, so I was raised right here in the valley. I grew up picking cucumbers and strawberries and blueberries and everything else that we had out here. Yeah, I just grew up working with the migrants. It was normal for me. For outsiders, it'd probably look funny, you know, being the only little white kid out there in the field speaking nothing but Spanish. Tulips are my paycheck. They definitely are. I mean, they help bring in business to the rest of the city here in Mount Vernon and Burlington and Anacortes. Just really, it's about all the colors.
These are 2 6-foot beds, and what we wanted to do is maintain the grass structure through here so people could get out and walk around. One of the issues is that we came in and planted after a drought last year, so there's a lot of clay in here, so the ground was super, super hard. And so that presented a challenge in trying to work up the soil to be able to plant deep enough, but at the same time maintain some soil structure so that it wasn't just like talcum powder. And so we hit some hard ground early, and we're happy with the way it turned out. Of course, can't wait to plant a cover crop in here, and so next year we can, everybody keeps saying your first will be your worst, but ours will still be pretty good. These trees have been here for about 5 years. We're really excited about the way that it presents in terms of landscape. So if you look across the field, people have an expectation of seeing this, 5 acres, 400 acres of color. And while I appreciate that, there are so many different ways to enjoy tulips. And for us, it'll be spectacular to look across down these avenues between the trees and see, 20 or 30 different types of tulips as you look down, especially for photographers, because we know that the linear nature of photography is so important. So there's competing history of the history of tulips in the Skagit Valley. I think it really started, the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival started in 1984 with the Mount Vernon Chamber when they decided that, hey, people are coming to enjoy these 4,000 plus acres that were planted in tulips, which is pretty spectacular. So that's how the Tulip Festival started. But according according to legend, it was actually in the 1920s that an Englishman in Lopez Island ordered a couple of thousand tulips from Holland, and then the Dutchman there that sent them over said, "What's up?" And then they talked to their cousins, and then that's how people started growing more and more tulips. Now, the other side is you'll hear that after World War II, and this is absolutely true, you know, there were people that immigrated from Holland. Farmers that knew how to do two things really well. One was dairy farming and the other was bulb growing. And so that's part of how it really kicked off here in Skagit Valley. I believe in standing on the shoulders of giants, but not to hang out there, right? It's because we're going somewhere. And so what we wanted to do this year is we brought cow cuddling in, and cow cuddling is a funny thing in and of itself, but it makes a lot of sense, right? But we got that idea at a conference. I was at a conference with some other, actually the folks that were getting the cattle from ranchers that are over on Whidbey Island, and we're at this conference together, and the idea was one of these brainstorming sessions, and it was like, what if? And they talk about cow cuddling in Holland, and I immediately was like, we're gonna do that. We think there's a reason every season to come to Skagit Valley, and there's a reason for everybody to visit Tulip Valley, right? If you like food, this is a place for you. If you like animals, we're gonna have animals out here. Of course, tulips are the main draw, but you know what? We have tulips in a way that has never been done before. It's planted in rows between hazelnut trees with grass strips going down the middle. And so we've got miles and miles and miles of tulip trail for people to come out and enjoy. And I can tell you, it is the absolute hardest way to plant tulips, and we did it anyway because we built our farm. This farm is built around the customer experience, which we have the unique privilege of being able to do, and I can't wait for people to enjoy that. My name's Andrew Miller, and welcome to Tulip Valley. Nice. There you go. Awesome. Right on.